Hey there, thanks for tuning in. Great Basin Prospecting here, your one-stop shop for nonstop rocks. Here's a look at the rocks that we'll be checking out this week. We've got 7 really cool ones, and I'm getting a little bit better with the new camera, so I think this video turned out even better than the last one. 6 of our rocks are coming from northern Nevada, with 2 of them coming from Gemfield, Nevada, and the lightning stone in the bottom left there is coming to us from Lake Michigan, courtesy of a subscriber. Big thank you there. Welcome back to all the current subscribers. Please make sure to like and comment and let me know your favorites. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's check out this rock. So right away, you can see we've got beautiful pattern and color going on. We have red veins that look like they're running all over the rock, and it's mostly shades of pink and red and white and a lot of caliche on this backside here. But as we rotate around to the front face again, you can see just really, really pretty on the colors and the patterns here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the inside, and that is amazing. Wow. So that is just beautiful. So obviously we have a very brecciated piece of stone here, and it's Wonderstone, although it's mostly in the pink and white and red variety. We do have some banding and some yellow even that we can see in some parts, but most of it is white or pink. And then as we get on the bottom part and towards the left-hand side here, there's a lot of smaller fragments, and some of those have some more interesting colors going on them. Really, really pretty. Here's a look at the other half, and on this half, I flipped the more colorful part to the top, but the little red veins running through the white part on the bottom of this one are really neat too. I haven't seen one exactly like this. It's just a gorgeous example. Really cool. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, you can see once again, we've got some really cool stuff going on. We have what looks like bluish crystal veins that are running through. We have a lot of pattern and marks on this, which look like it may be wood or petrified wood, especially this little part here made me think that. And then some interesting crystallization that we can see going on the top of the rock there. So let's take a look at the inside, and that is really neat. So I do think that this is primarily a petrified wood. It looks like wood grain there through the middle, and it has some other interesting stuff going on. We can see a little bit more of that crystal, which is maybe a common opal. And here's a look at the individual halves. Really nice on the oranges and the yellows and the whites and browns, especially too, towards the top there. Really interesting. It looks like the structure is perhaps more intact in terms of the wood grain through that brown center portion, and then the bottom and the top of it got altered a bit more. But this is another beautiful one, just stunning. Okay, let's check out this rock. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this is a lightning stone, which is also known as a Septarian nodule. This comes to us from Lake Michigan and comes courtesy of a subscriber, so thanks again there. This one, as you can see, has some really neat lightning running over what looks like the top portion of this rock. So that's what I was trying to capture with my cut. I could have maybe even made it a little bit thinner towards the top, but I thought that this would probably work out pretty well. So let's take a look at the inside, and that is really nice. So what I like about this one versus some of the other ones is that we have a really uniform dark blackish background, and the white calcite veins are really uniform in their color and somewhat uniform in their size too, from kind of medium down to small, and just really pretty on how the veins pop out against the dark material. It also looks like there's maybe some sort of, maybe the inclusion or maybe the ball of clay that it started around is that streak in the middle there. Not totally sure, but it's kind of interesting. You can see that on both halves, but a really cool one. All right, let's check out this rock. So right off the bat, you can see we've got some really cool crystal going on that's got some red running through it. It looks like maybe a little bit of blue in there. The crystal here on this corner is super clear and transparent. looks really nice. And we can see bits of that nice transparent crystal throughout, as well as some red and deep red and orange. So this one looked like it was going to be pretty cool on the inside based on the outside here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the inside, and wow, yeah, that is a really nice one. Really pretty agate material here with blues and reds and even kind of a white cloudy area going on. Now, there's a couple of the bright blue pieces that you'll see there, and those are actually from the saw blade, so those are not part of the rock there that we see down towards the bottom lower left. But the rest of it is the actual color there. And really cool patterns going on. I really love the red and the way that it is kind of banded like clouds through the white part, and just the way the white part looks as well. Really, really pretty. And I'll definitely need to clean the blue saw marks off of this one, but okay, next up we've got a rock from Gemfield, which I've got a whole video about where I go there and do some rock hounding and then we take a look at the rocks. But this is one of those, some unreal colors just showing through here with the reds and the purple and the white. Just beautiful. This one looked like it had a lot of fractures in it, but the color on it was so cool that I couldn't help but pick it up and give it a couple cuts here. So let's check them out. So this first portion here, really nice with the colors going on. The light white and blue lavender parts look almost like an opalite to me, which there was a lot of in the area. And then the rest is supposed to be a chalcedony, but I've heard others say that they thought it was a highly silicified rhyolite, like some of the wonderstones that I find more up towards where I am, but just beautiful on the colors here. Let's take a look at that half as well. Really, really pretty. Probably not solid enough to use for lapidary use, but you could face polish that. And these halves, yeah, I just love the purple. Again, unfortunately, not super solid on the inside, but the colors are just really brilliant, and it was too cool looking to pass up. So I thought I would go ahead and cut it and share it with everyone anyway. But just really pretty. If I could find some more colors like this out there. Okay, let's check out this rock. So from the outside, we can see we have a really heavy desert patina going on, mostly in reds and oranges. There's some darker stuff going on too, especially on this side. There's some really interesting pattern, as you can see here. It almost looks like lots of little lines that are going on there, and then it carries on down the face that we can see there too, with a couple more rows of those lines. No idea what that is, but really interesting. So let's go ahead and take a look at the inside here. And that is really cool. So that may even be the desert, patina layer there that's on the whole top of that, which is really interesting. And then the agate material itself is a yellowish white, and we can see lots of interesting banding going on there. There's also some dark spots, notably up top in kind of the red and orange part, which is pretty cool too. But this is a really pretty agate material. I've not seen one that looks quite like this in terms of the yellowish shades. That's really interesting. I'm guessing that's iron staining on what would have otherwise been white. And the thick layer at the top is really unique too. Very cool one. And last but certainly not least, we've got this rock, which looks like a cotton candy one to me. This is another one that came from Gemfield, Nevada. And the pink and the blue was just a really cool combo. This one also looked like it might not be super solid, but again, the colors looked so cool that I just wanted to get a peek as to how they looked on the inside. So let's go ahead and take a look. And that is really cool. So the blues are definitely nice and the pinks are nice. And there's a couple different lakes of blue in there. Really beautiful distinction between the different color areas, and actually some interesting banding that's going on in the pink areas. Again, maybe not solid enough that we could do something with it, although I think it would probably look pretty cool polished up, but really cool. So that's it for this week. Thanks again so much for checking these rocks out. Please let me know your favorites down in the comments. Thanks again to all the current subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and I will see you next time.